this amazing time of the year. I love it because of all of the bright colors and all of the opportunities to decorate your trees, your house, and your gift wrap. I am quite the color person. If you haven't seen my social media, you should probably go check it out. I'm a huge fan of the bright, bold, vivid colors. Perhaps that is why I have always enjoyed coloring. Coloring is something that always brought me a lot of joy. It gave me a way to be creative, and I thought, why not roll coloring into something that I love so much like Christmas? Of course, like everyone, I go onto YouTube and find these cool videos and think,
this is too good to be true.
or I go onto Pinterest and think,
gosh, they make it seem so easy, but is it that easy?
We're about to find out. Today, on day 7 of Vlogmas, we are going to try crayon Christmas crafts and find out which ones work and which ones don't. This is going to be interesting, guys. And go.
On the beat.
Now, to create this craft, there are only a few items that we will need. It's really simple, but I have my skepticism. This is what you'll need. We're going to need a box of crayons. You can use any brand, and I do just recommend that you find the non-toxic ones. Next up, we need a few plastic ornaments. Again, these can be found pretty much anywhere, and they do have a variety of different sizes and styles. We will also need a hairdryer. This is my crafting one, so it's a little scary.
Pew, 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 pew.
We're also going to need a standard kitchen knife. I do prefer one with a serrated edge. It's just going to make shaping the crayons a little bit easier. And also we will need paper towels. To start our project today, we're going to spread out our paper towel. This is just going to form a nice barrier between our shavings and the counter so we don't happen to get crayon everywhere. Then we're going to open up our box and pick out a few colors that we like. Now we're going to take the paper off of each one of these, and this is a little tricky sometimes. Depending on the brand, it can be more tricky than you think. When our paper is removed from all of our colors, we are then going to take them, and using our knife, we're just going to shave a little bit off of each one of them. We're going to shave that directly onto our paper towel, and this is going to take a minute. After we have shaved our crayons, then we're going to take our toppers off of our ornaments so that we can take the shavings and place them inside.
On the beat.
I went ahead and moved to the back counter. I'm going to be plugging in the hairdryer and then also laying down this additional paper towel right here. We're going to be working above this surface again so we don't get the wax on the countertops. I'm going to be taking our hairdryer and starting on high. I do recommend taking the knife that you were using or something that is small like this and holding the ornament with it so you don't burn your hand. We have been turning the ornament and using the hairdryer like we were told. It seems as though we have encountered our first issue. Do you see this? It is actually denting the ornament from the heat. You can see right there, there's a big dent. And then the bottom now is completely flat from the heat. So let me take it off of the knife and it sits up. That's not good. So creating an ornament using a simple plastic bulb, crayon shavings, and a hairdryer was definitely a big fail. A super big fail. I am going to try one other method that I also saw on Pinterest and see if that one works. For this technique, we are going to be heating a pan of water, and so we need to turn this on to high and let it heat up. We want this to be at a consistent boil before we try to do our ornament. So we're just gonna let that heat up while we prepare our second ornament. Okay, this is attempt number 2. I have taken the water and put it on to boil. According to this, I should be able to put the cap back in, maybe, okay? And then we're going to take our knife or spatula and place it through the loop and then dip it into the water. Now, this goes against everything I've ever been taught, but Pinterest told me to do it, so we're gonna try. Okay, here we go. We are dangling. It's getting so smoky. Oh, this is probably gonna go so badly. See if it's damaging it. Oh yeah, it's completely flat. Pinterest, you lied to me. Okay, we have now tried our plastic ornament marbling twice with 2 different techniques presented on Pinterest. The first of which, the hairdryer. It's flat on the bottom and dented on the side. Then we took it and put it directly into the boiling water, and as I suspected, it melted. However, hardly any of the crayon did. Huh? Our next attempt on the will it turn out like Pinterest game is to create a canvas art using a small canvas. Again, these can be found at any major retailer. Some crayon shavings, and we're gonna go back to our hairdryer. Oh boy, this could be fun. Now for this craft, we will be taking our little canvas right here and we will be sprinkling a few of our shavings onto it. And then we will be taking our hairdryer and heating them up. Let's see how this goes. Well, that went well. This is what happens when you use the hairdryer. It goes everywhere. Guys, this is turning into a fail video. I should go on Fail Army right now. But I'm using the exact description of how to do this from Pinterest, which leads me to believe that other people aren't really doing it this way. I did find another method, so I'm going to try it as well. It does still use the hairdryer, but not shavings, which are very light, obviously. Now for this technique, we will be using the regular crayons and just placing them onto the canvas and heating them up. This will allow them, hopefully, to melt. Well, guys, this is what it looks like. 10 minutes after heating it, there's still a crayon there. Why is this not working? This next Pinterest project piqued my interest because I've actually seen it done. I know it does work, but does it work the way that I found it on Pinterest is the question. A lot of people have broken crayons at their home, especially if they have kids, and they look something like this. But today, we're going to repurpose those and turn them into something amazing. So first, we're going to start off just by going ahead and breaking up the ones that we have into small pieces. This is going to then be placed inside the boiling water on the stove so it can melt down. I don't know what's going to come of this. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to set these to the side and then we're going to start on our second one. Our second project, we're going to use a regular muffin tin. We're going to line it with the little muffin holders. And then we're going to break crayons and put them inside. We're going to bake these at 350 for about 15 minutes, according to the directions. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we have now filled each one of our cups. I did find that the people that I actually knew who completed this craft did it using a silicone mold. However, on Pinterest, it says you can do it like this, so let's find out. The oven is heated up to 350, so these are going in. Meanwhile, we have crayons in this little jar that are going into the hot water. Let's see if there's any progress. None. No progress. While we're at it, we'll just check inside here. And these actually are melting. We may have one craft that works. We are now at about 10 minutes. And these actually look like they're almost done. We may pull these out a little bit earlier. This, on the other hand, is barely melting. And it's starting to smell really funny, so this may come off before it has fully melted. I'm kind of getting a little bit nervous. After about 15 minutes, this is what it looks like. It's just now starting to melt, and I can't honestly say that I would like to keep this on because it smells really bad.
Walk like a failure. Walk like a failure.
Ow, another fail. Not that I was expecting anything different. After about 10 minutes, if a crayon hasn't melted, there's probably something wrong with this equation. Meanwhile, we are going to pull these out. That looks fun. We're going to place them up here so that they can cool. Now, something that is a little concerning to me is the smell that is going around the house right now. We did put these in the oven and also on top of the stove, and there is this overwhelming smell of chemical. These are considered to be non-toxic, so I'm a little concerned. I'm gonna go ahead and air out the house and let these set up, but yeah, that's just something to be noted. The moment is finally here. We've been waiting about 15 minutes for these to cool off, and it's finally time for us to find out if our project really worked or not. In the pan, it looks pretty good. I'm kind of impressed by it actually, and everything comes out for the most part. We did have a little leakage, it looks like, into the bottom of the dish, and I think that's because the Crayola is just such a thick material. Let's go ahead and pop one of these out. Comes out pretty easily. That's a good sign. You can really notice the colors that we put into the disc, and that's awesome. So this craft did in fact turn out. Something I am noticing, however, the top of the disc looks a little bit more muddy and waxy, and I think that truly does have a lot to do with the crayons that we use. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of these out so we can look at them. Okay, let's start off with this shade right here and just color a little line across. I'm going to start on the brown side. Okay, it did break. That's something to note. These are pretty thin though. This was our breakage. Now we're going to go on to the back side and color a line. And then we'll just do another one like this. It did break again. Uh-oh! Now for our next one, we're going to color with it on a line. Uh-oh, that one broke big. Let's move on to this one. Ooh, that's a pretty blue. Starting to break again. Something I'm noticing is when you color from the front side, because it has this extra waxy film on it, that's when it's breaking. That side is just not holding up. So if I was to use this particular brand of crayons again, I would definitely have to make thicker cookies of them. Otherwise, they're just going to crumble.
Why won't you work? What is wrong with you?
Move on to the side. Again, that waxy layer just doesn't have a lot of color to it at all. And then we'll move on to the ridge. Okay, so what's my final takeaway after doing our Pinterest crafts of DIY crayoning today? Guys, it's pretty mixed. On one hand, I had a good time trying to do these things. On the other hand, most of it was a massive fail. Fail! But that's okay, we had a good time, and like I said, you never know unless you try it. These to me were somewhat of a hit. I think that if I were to do these again, I would not use this particular brand of crayons. They just don't have the same consistency, and Crayola is better. Now, if you had kind of a mixture, it might work out, but with very inexpensive crayons, you're going to end up with little waxy discs that don't color worth anything. You're gonna have some crazy wax top on it, and your hands are gonna feel really gritty and grimy, which is what I'm experiencing right now. So all in all, Pinterest, you didn't let me down entirely, and I can't blame this all on you, but today was a fail. Thanks again, guys, for coming by and checking out Vlogmas Day 7, where we tried Pinterest crafts using cheap crayons. It was a riot, wasn't it? I have so many more days to go. We're on day 7, which means 23 more episodes. Watch all of it. There's gonna be good days, there's gonna be bad days, but there's always gonna be something here for you. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you tomorrow. Like, really, what is that smell? That does not smell non-toxic. Should I totally leave some feedback for them? Like, they should know that you need to use better crayons. They should put that in the description.